Hello, Phil Moore here, and today we're going to have a look at PluralEyes3 for Windows, the new version of PluralEyes. This version's been out on the Mac for a few months now, but it's only just been released as of this recording for Windows. Now, PluralEyes is basically designed to help you synchronize video and audio, like a two-system recording. And normally you'd use a slate to help synchronize. And I'll show you that process, the old-fashioned way of doing it, in a moment. It will also help you synchronize multi-cam footage together. Now, the old way of doing this kind of thing was, and let me just see if I've got here a training video that I've been recently working on, and we have 3 days worth of shooting here. I'm just going to take some clips from day one, and you can see here I brought into Premiere all these separate wave audio recordings and all the video clips. If I drag the first of these clips across, you can see here there is the vision with the camera sound. This was shot on a Canon 7D. And there should be some audio to match with that. So if I zoom in here and find my slate, okay, and on this particular day I was using a iPad slate. Right, so we can see there 111 basically. It's a shot one, take one, scene one. Okay, so there's the audio that's meant to match with that. I'll drag that down here to audio track 2. I'm going to expand this so we can see it a bit better. Open that track up, open this track up, zoom in, turn that one off.
Totally there, Phil. Actually, don't.
Let me find where the slate was called, which is right there. We pull this up. Now I'm going to just have a listen to the audio. Which is that one there. Right, and that there is the slap. So let's find that slap on the camera sound. It's right there. There's a couple of extra background noises there on top of it. Okay, so that is going to line right up with that one there. Okay, they should now be synchronized. So if we go back, I'll turn this one off. We'll just listen to the synced audio. And we're synced. Now, how long did that take me? Within Premiere, I can now take all of that, right-click, and merge clips. Call it, it'll give it a name, call it merged. And from now on, if I put that into a new timeline, that becomes a merged clip. I could also, if I wanted to, get rid of the original camera sound, but I'd just keep it there as a backup and mute it. And that's now one clip. I now have to do that with every single clip to manually synchronize this with their second system sound. It's a very tedious process. Okay, let me show you how this works now using PluralEyes. All of the footage from day one. I'm going to take all of the audio. I'm just going to drop them onto audio track 2. Take all of the vision, drop that onto video and audio track 1. I make no effort to synchronize this. I'm just lining them up, saying all of this is going to match somehow with all of that. We go to Window, Extensions, PluralEyes3. It will ask me to save the project, so we'll do that. Now this is exporting it as a Final Cut Pro XML. Which is fine. Basically, it's an XML file, which PluralEyes itself can read and write. All right, PluralEyes is now saying, I'm importing files from Premiere, and there's multiple sequences already in that project. So we're going to import sequence 04. I'm just going to rescale this so you can all see what I'm doing. Right, now what it's doing is loading the project, and basically it's doing what Premiere Pro calls conforming. It's drawing the waveforms and working out the timecode for all of the clips that it's bringing in. So just give that a few seconds and I'll zip ahead. Okay, that just took a couple of minutes. There's about 30 minutes worth of footage altogether that it had to import and conform there. So now you can see we have the audio from camera 1 and the audio recorder 1. So what I'm going to do now is simply hit synchronize. It will go through all of these, compare the audio from the recorder and the camera, and very quickly match them and line them up. And it's done. Took that long. So all these green clips are ones that have been synchronized. All of these pink red clips are ones that could not find a match for. And they might be wild lines or Foley sound or dud recordings of some kind. Likewise with the red video clip here, it's probably a dud take where there was background noise and we just stopped the take immediately. It looks like a very short clip. Just to double check this, let's click on one at random. Now we're hearing both the camera and the recorded audio, but you can see that they're both in sync. So let's export that timeline, and this is taking us straight back using XML again, back into Premiere. So there's our original, and it has created a couple of new timelines, if I can see where it put them. There they are. So sequence 04 synced, which was that. So this was everything that Plural Eyes did in synchronizing the clips, and I can double check it all there if I want. But beyond that, it also made a new sequence, replaced. It got rid of the camera sound and replaced it with the zoom sound automatically, and linked the clips together. So that's ready to go. Everything is synchronized now and ready to cut. I just have to double check maybe a few clips like this where there was no audio. If I have a look at this one, for example. And clearly you can see there's someone walking in the background, so we just stopped that take immediately before sound even got rolling. Likewise here, there's a couple of dud takes. So there, I can safely delete those once I've checked them. Other ones like this, the camera was rolling. Actually, we were getting some B-roll stuff here where there was no sound. Then all of a sudden we said, let's go. Our cameraman just kept on rolling, sound rolled up, and it's found it. So even when the camera and the audio are clearly at different lengths and starting in different places, there's enough there for it to work out and synchronize it. And there's no dialogue in this either, by the way. This is just Foley sound. And it's managed to work it out and find the matches there. Brilliant. I just had to do that with the other days. That took all of 5 minutes at the most, rather than doing everyone individually. Okay, let's give this a bit more of a challenge. On day 2 of this particular project, we had 2 cameras and 2 separate audio recorders, because we actually had 3 microphones running, 3 lavalier lapel microphones. So let's put everything from camera A into video 1, camera B into video 2, the first zoom recorder into audio 3, and the second zoom recorder. You can see there's an earlier version there, but I'll show you again how we did this. And that's going to end up down here in audio 7. Let's get rid of these unwanted tracks. Okay. Now as you can see, the second audio recorder here, there isn't nearly as much recorded as on the main one. There's a lot more recorded on that. And I think that's because on the first audio recorder we did some wild lines and Foley and other stuff like that as well. There's a lot of extra audio on that. But let's see how Plural Eyes copes with that. We haven't synchronized anything, we've just thrown them onto the timeline. And we'll save the project. And we're now going to choose day 2. And you can see there's an earlier version there that I did, but I'll do this again for the sake of this demo. Choose day 2 and say OK. It's still importing the video for this, so let's give it a few minutes. Okay, there's about an hour's worth of footage in this out of 2 cameras and 2 recorders, so that took about 3 minutes to process. And as you can see here, because we now have 2 cameras, I could also do a 2-up display if I wanted. So if I choose a section at random here. Right. So what we did here, in fact, was we shot generally the same side from a 2-shot and a close-up, because our actors are actually working off an auto cue at this point. So that looks wrong at the moment, but let's synchronize this and see what we get. Now you can see the green is synchronized, and when we see some red bits, it'll be clips that don't seem to have a matching clip or audio clip to go with them. And you're just watching and zip through all of that stuff, finding the matches, and it's done. So as we can see here, we have 3 cameras, 2 cameras I should say, camera 1, camera 2, and 2 audio recorders. Further along we have some clips that don't appear to match audio. So again, there's some dud takes and that kind of thing. But if I look at one of these, for example, just randomly, here you can see the 2-shot and the close-up. If I play this, and we're hearing a mixture of camera sound and sync sound there. Let's export this out to Premiere. Day 2 synced and replaced. So what it's done is it's synchronized them, and it's also replaced all the camera sound with the sync sound.
Okay. And the next one.
And they were wearing radio mics. So this is now just radio mics.
Great.
For the first shot and the second shot there. So when there's not a match, it gives you a red flag and says, I can't match that. But this is brilliant. It's actually matched up 2 separate cameras, 2 separate audio recorders, with 3 different audio tracks all lined up. I'm now ready to start editing that straight away. This has saved me, if I do this to all 3 days worth of footage with multiple cameras, multiple sound, this has saved me basically a day's worth of synchronizing audio and video clips together. Very laborious, tedious work. It will have done the entire job in about 10 minutes, and I'm ready to start cutting. It can also do this with larger multicam sequences. If it doesn't support the video format, these happen to be shot with H.264 out of the Canon 7D, but I've tried this with Panasonic P2 MXF files. Plural Eyes couldn't read the video, but it could read the audio, so it was able to synchronize them even without seeing the vision. It could use the audio to synchronize the cameras together. So this is PluralEyes3 for Windows, now available. Brilliant for synchronizing 2-system filming with cameras and separate audio recorders, or multicam setups with 2, 3, potentially more cameras. If you're doing a lot of this kind of work, synchronizing separate video and audio, PluralEyes is an essential plugin. So this is available for Adobe Premiere Pro CS6, Sony Vegas, Avid Media Composer, and also Canopus Edius. And of course on the Mac it's available for Final Cut Pro X.